Welcome to this week's episode of Becoming More Me, the podcast for high-achieving and busy-minded entrepreneurs and professionals who want to be more and do less. If you've ever found yourself making another list, polishing a post you're never going to publish, or promising that Monday you is going to be a brand new person, this episode's for you, especially if you're brilliant, big-hearted, and busy. And honestly, if you're tired of feeling like your results are not matching your potential. I'm Theresa Levine. I'm an EFT master practitioner, international best-selling author, hypnotherapist, mom of 4 boys, and ADHD guide to pleasure-fueled success. And I do love recording podcasts in my sweats in the pre-dawn hour, which is exactly what I'm doing this morning. I help high achievers stop white knuckling life so that results start feeling safer and more sustainable. I've worked with a lot of people that have been through burnout, and I realize how important it is to create sustainable success, how important it is to be able to slow down in order to get traction, and that can be really uncomfortable for people. And today, I'm going to explain why trying harder, pushing, striving hasn't worked, what to do instead. And, I want to back up because it's not that it doesn't work. You can get really far pushing and trying really hard and making things really hard, honestly. But you get to a certain point and you can certainly get a lot of success through pushing and striving and hustling. That's undeniable, okay? It's not that you cannot succeed. It's that it is highly unlikely that it will feel aligned, fulfilling, purposeful, joyful. So you've gotten to wherever you are now, perhaps with that push, hustle, strive mentality, but you know that you want so much more. And that's really what this is about, okay? It's about what can be done instead that can make it even better, that can help you be your most successful, most fulfilled, most pleasure-fueled self. And I also have an invitation for you to a live workshop where we can hang out together and experience some shifts around this, like real mind-body shifts together in that real time, okay? So let me guess about you a little bit, all right? Just kind of listening to this podcast and everything else. I'm guessing that you're pretty impressive, that you're either a business owner, a professional, a leader of some sort. Perhaps you're also a parent who's juggling that too. And you're just an on-the-go person. People trust you, you deliver, and privately there's something else going on. You set these bold goals, and then these avoidance behaviors, even if they seem really small, begin to creep in. You start researching instead of taking risks. You start tweaking things. Maybe you find yourself distracted. You know you've got some purposeful things to do, and instead you're cleaning out the desk drawer or organizing your socks or something like that instead of doing the thing. Okay? Has that ever happened to you? Ask me how I know, because I've been there. And this is going to be all areas. So that's kind of like a work example. But maybe in relationships, you find yourself trying to keep the peace instead of speaking your truth. Or you take on one more thing while you're already at capacity. Maybe you're not even really aware of your capacity, how small it is or how much you're pushing it, anything like that, especially when it comes to the nervous system. Also in relationships, you might be the one that appears nice, but underneath it all, you're getting kind of angry, getting kind of resentful. So I'm also guessing that, you're curious. You're maybe a little spiritual, maybe a little touch of woo, and maybe you can teach the how-tos, and yet your own follow-through is inconsistent. Meaning you have a lot of knowledge, you have a really good understanding of things, and yet you putting those things into action in your own life, business, relationships, health is feeling really sticky, because it's not that you don't know what to do. It's almost like there's this invisible force that keeps pulling you back to the familiar. And I'm also going to guess that you've tried some things to work on this before. Talk therapy, maybe some prescriptive courses or programs that made promises that if you followed the next steps, followed their steps, their course, that, things would be better. You'd be fixed, which is so silly because you're not broken. Perhaps you've done some group coaching where advice made sense, but you couldn't get it to stick in real life. And you didn't have the help or the accountability or the support to understand how to translate it for your life, or the things that were blocking you from implementing it. Maybe you've done a bunch of how-to coaching. Most business coaching, marketing coaching, even a lot of relationship coaching and health coaching is going to give you the how-tos, right? But it's not going to take into account the belief systems, the nervous system responses, essentially the subconscious and your body's safety system that are going to make it so that you can show up to this type of coaching and go, yeah, I get that. This used to always happen when I did nutrition and fitness coaching. I could give people a meal plan. I could give them a workout program, could even help them figure out how to logically rearrange their time in their day, or to shop or meal prep or all of those things. And yet the self-sabotage would show up. And that's when I realized I needed to start addressing the underlying beliefs, the underlying patterns for the people that I was working with, because there's no amount of how-to that is going to help that change for people. And you can want something so incredibly badly, and without addressing the subconscious and the nervous system, it's like all you've got is willpower. And that's not a strong foundation for lasting change. Okay. And I'm guessing that in all the things that you've tried, there has been progress, right? Most of the people that I work with are people who really can appreciate and see how far they've come, how much they've grown, where they were then, where they are now. And they also know that they want to put time on their side and allow it to just compound and make leaps and strides instead of inching their way along, right? So some of these things are great, and they work until they don't, right? So what most plans, most coaching, even therapy can miss is that your system doesn't prioritize your goals. It prioritizes your safety. When something feels unfamiliar, and all of those things that you want in your life, in your relationships, in your business, in your health, all of those things, they're unfamiliar, right? Good things like increased visibility, raising your prices, resting without feeling guilty about it. These things actually will set off your brain's alarm center, the amygdala, right? It's going to throw a flag. And the part of your brain that does planning and follow through, the prefrontal cortex, it's going to kind of dim down a little bit, right? And then the RAS, which is your reticular activating system, another part of the brain, it's going to start looking for evidence that the old pattern is the right pattern, okay? And that's exactly why you can know better and still delay, procrastinate, distract, decide nothing sometimes. And that's still a decision. It's not a willpower problem. People always tell me, if I only had more motivation, if I only had more willpower, if I were more disciplined. It's not the problem. It's the internal wiring, it's the conditioning, it's the programming, and it's that you do not feel safe making those moves. Even if hearing that and thinking like, what do you mean? I don't feel safe to work out, huh? Like, what do you even mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense. It does. Gotta look a little deeper, okay? And that's what I do in my one-on-one work with people. We find those reasons why those things are unsafe, and then we change the connection that you have with them, okay? So we also have various trust gaps that affect our self-trust and our intuition on a very high level, okay? So for instance, there are trust gaps that affect our capacity, right? So, or are affected by our capacity. So like I just mentioned, somebody might believe they actually can't do something. So, and this comes from some fixed mindset about our abilities. It also comes from a lack of just relevant skill confidence, okay? And then the low self-efficacy that it says that I don't believe in myself in that way. So that's where kind of like our capacity can come in. And then we also have beliefs underlying things that might be something like, I don't believe that if I put effort into this, that it's actually going to get me the results that I want. Okay. We may have taken on a certain amount of just expecting failure, and no longer believing that we're actually going to progress if we put in the effort. So that comes back to kind of like a why bother, or even a victim type mindset that can underlie that. And that's usually based on previous experiences where maybe you worked your butt off and don't feel like there was any visible progress, any tangible progress. And there can also be these misunderstandings of how results happen over time, and even the value of time, because time is a human construct. And I talk about time a lot because I deal with a lot of people that have ADHD, and time blindness can be a really real thing. But you have those days or those hours where it's like deep work and deep shifts are happening. And then you have other times when that same hour, it's like not even possible to do anything that really matters, just kind of scrolling or drifting or daydreaming or whatever else. But we have the ability to work with time to slow it down, because time is really a measure of distance. Okay. So that's for another podcast. But back to these trust gaps. We also have these gaps where we don't care enough sometimes. We don't care enough about what we say we want. Okay. And that has to do with our values, right? Perhaps your values are misaligned, or maybe what you're going after isn't what you actually want. It's what somebody else defined as successful, or somebody else wanted for you. And that can be a real disconnection from motivation. And that's usually what comes up when people are telling me they need more motivation. It's really that there's a gap in their values that is creating a gap in their trust. Have you joined the Becoming More Me community over on School yet? It is one of the fastest growing distraction-free platforms for learning and connection. And it's where the magic's happening for the Becoming More Me community as well. Inside, you will find a high vibe circle of heart-centered, ambitious entrepreneurs and professionals doing deep work to become who they truly feel called to be in life, in business, in love, health, and wealth, and doing it in ways that feel aligned, authentic, and full of pleasure. The community is packed with tons of valuable resources too that you can start using right away, as well as guidance to find the ones that are going to help you so that you don't need to waste time. We're talking tools, trainings, and practices to support your growth, all for free. Plus, you can find info on working with me more deeply, whether it's through one-on-one coaching, small group experiences, or the Becoming More Me with EFT program, as well as information on upcoming workshops and other events. To join, head over to school.com/discovery. That's SKOOL.com/discovery. Type in my name, Theresa, Lear, Levine, and you will find the Becoming More Me community right there. Click on it to join, I can't wait to welcome you to the community. Okay. And then, kind of like I was saying about time, another idea is that, if something is taking too long, whatever that has been defined as by you, then it's not working. Okay. We can have some pretty unrealistic expectations about speed of results, and they can be unrealistic in both ways. That sometimes we think things will take less time than they do, and sometimes we unfortunately believe that things are supposed to take longer than they can. And very much like healing and miracles can happen in an instant, so can different forms of progress. Impatience, it can be something that really holds us back. The good news is that all of these things, whether it's these gaps in trust or this feeling of being disconnected from your intuition and therefore not being as calm, confident, and clear as you want, or having that lack of safety in your body and in your mind, and these beliefs that are just so incredibly unsupportive, it can all be rewired. Okay? And it doesn't have to be difficult. It can happen actually really gently, because what we all really want is just, it's so simple. In business, we tend to want clarity, right? We want things to just be like clean and clear. We want consistency, and we don't want to have to pay this panic tax as we scale, as we grow, as we improve, right? In life, most of us just want to be more present with like our people. We might want more intimacy, a better sex life. We might want to laugh more. And we don't want to have to just check the time all the time and feel like we're on somebody else's time, right? With our body, the majority of us want to understand our energy better, or have to feel like we have more of it. We want to age gracefully. We want habits that feel self-respectful and not self-punishing, right? And in our inner world, we want confidence, right? We want calm momentum. We want to be able to trust our intuition and act on it, not just be like, oh yeah, I kind of knew this was going to happen, but I did it anyway. Because that's having an understanding of what your intuition is saying, but then not following through on it, which is such an important part. And we want that magnetism that makes opportunities come closer, that attracts abundance in our health, in our wealth, in our relationships. I don't know anybody that actually wants to work harder, grind, hustle. You want to receive more, right? And even with things like creativity and connection. And you want that in a way like that your system knows how to hold it. Okay? So here's a frame that I teach, and I'm going to go way deeper into this in my upcoming live workshop. But the frame is called RISE. Okay? And the idea with the R is regulation, right? We have to lower the internal volume so that you have choice again. Restoring choice is huge. The I is about identity, where we can name our patterns without drama, okay? Whether we have survival urgency, or we're avoiding expansion, or we're making decisions out of fear and not love, or we're leaking our energy to things that happened in the past, things that we're future pacing about that aren't happening in the now either. Basically, we're kind of killing our ability to be present because our energy is going in directions that are not here and now. And that also can show up in things like people pleasing. The S in RISE is about selecting, okay? It's about picking just the next little itty bitty aligned step, like a micro move that stretches you just a little bit, okay? We're not talking about like jumping off a cliff. We're talking about a 10 to 15% stretch. What's the next thing? And then the E is about encoding, okay? So mentally rehearsing the small step as already done so that your system can tag it as familiar and safe, okay? And again, we're gonna go way deeper into all of this in the workshop, but every time you walk through RISE, you're teaching your subconscious, this is who I am now. I'm that person that follows through, and I'm doing it gently. And it's a game changer like you would not believe. So let's just here and now, let's create a tiny win together, okay? Let's just pick one area that feels a little loud for you today. Business, relationships, boundaries, receiving, following through. Pick one. Hey, quick pause to let you in on something you might not know. You can book a totally free, no pressure 15-minute insight call with me? Yep, just you and me, chatting about the real life stuff that's feeling heavy or unclear or stuck in your world right now. Whether that's in your business, your body, your relationships, your energy, all of the above maybe. We'll explore what's really going on beneath the surface, and I will share a few personalized insights to help you start moving towards the outcomes you truly desire and get out of your own way with clarity, peace, momentum, and abundance. Just go to gamechangingconversation.com and grab a time that works for you. I can't wait to connect with you and hold space for your next breakthrough. All right, let's get back to the episode. And what I want you to do is just unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders, and just notice yourself. Okay? Then I want you to identify a pattern that's happening here. What's going on? And that could sound like, this is avoidance. All right, that's what's going on here. Or, oh, that's fear. Fear is trying to pick and choose for me. Or maybe it's something like, this is an energy leak. This is totally reminding me of something that happened when I was a kid, or that even happened last year, or sometime that wasn't now. It's reminding me of some other time when something connected, similar happened, and I'm letting that affect me in the present. Energy leak. And then once you kind of define what's happening pattern-wise, and again, I'm going to teach you a lot about these patterns too in the workshop. So if you're like, I don't know, is it an energy leak? Is it avoidance? What's going on with fear? We're going to go deeper into that also. Okay. But then we're going to kind of move to the S now. So what is that 10 to 15% stretch for you? Is it an email that you need to send? Is it a boundary that you need to create? Is it something that's a little bit out of integrity with inside of your business? Is it taking a break? Would a 10 to 15% stretch be taking a break, going for a walk? What would that be for you? Okay. And then I want you to encode that. All right. Imagine what it is. If it's an email that needs to be sent, imagine yourself typing it. Imagine yourself, putting in the address of where it's going. Imagine yourself clicking send. Okay. Just close your eyes for 5 seconds. Okay. And feel the after. Okay. Feel the relieved exhale. Feel how clean done feels. Let your system just kind of put a bookmark in that sensation. Feel it, okay? Can't say that enough. They'll visualize it, feel it. What does it actually feel like to do it and to be done? Okay, that's what I want you to connect with, okay? Small and true steps always beat these big, brittle, not finished things that we tell ourselves we should be doing. Okay? If this is resonating with you at all, I really want you to go sign up for my next workshop. Okay? And we are going to rewire and rise together. Okay? We're going to move from self-sabotage to aligned success in life and business. Okay? Workshops are about an hour. We'll go deeper into why your brain gets sidelined when things matter, how to spot the things that are traps for you. Okay. I have a whole detailed system for that. That's going to go into our survival thinking and our avoidance of expansion and our fear-based decisions and those energy leaks and past conditioning that are bringing us down. And you'll experience two things that most workshops only talk about. Okay. So we actually do work in these workshops. This is not like an info dump, and it's not a sales pitch. Okay. You're going to do live EFT tapping with me. Okay. Where we're going to quiet your body's alarm so that, again, choice can come back online. It's amazing what happens when you do a round of EFT. If you haven't tried it before, you're going to love it. If you have done it before, but not with me, you're going to see some differences. Okay. And we're also going to do a hypnotic visualization that is going to help you do a better, deeper job of rehearsing your next aligned action so that it becomes familiar, safe, and doable. Okay. And then you're also going to leave the workshop with that next micro move that you're going to do, actually being able to stick it. And you're going to get my whole rise reset method also that you can use anytime. So if you want momentum without that whole panic tax, then this is the room that you want to be in. You want to come to one of these live workshops. It is perfect for busy-minded or ADHD entrepreneurs, leaders, professionals, parents, people who are kind of like looking like they got it together, but feeling inconsistent or unfulfilled, and anybody who is ready to make success feel safe, pleasurable, and repeatable. Okay. So to grab your spot in the workshop, just go to theresalearlevine.org/workshop. If you're watching this somewhere where I have links attached, there might be something you can click on, but simple website. Again, theresalearlevine.org/workshop, and add it to your calendar, show up ready to do some work, ready to participate. Again, it is live. It's not a pre-recorded webinar. I will be there. We will be working in stuff from the chat. We will have Q&A. This is going to be personalized to those attending, which always makes it, fun and different. Every time I do a workshop, I love doing workshops. Okay. And if for some reason you can't be there live, but you're still interested in seeing what it's all about, register. There will be a limited time window that the replay is offered afterwards, but I do realize that not everybody can be there when a live workshop is happening. That's okay. You can still benefit from what we do in it and get all the same takeaways of the people that attended live. Okay? So today, I want you to take this away. You don't rise and grow and transform and heal through force, okay? It happens through safety, and things like pleasure and inner peace get you major traction, okay? The more your system feels safe being more you, the easier results arrive. So just try that little rise reset that we worked through today. You can do it anytime. You can repeat it anytime. Just even 10 seconds, it counts, okay? And if this episode spoke to you, please share it with a friend who knows what to do and still can't do it. And go save your seat for the next workshop at theresalearlevine.org/workshop. I can't wait to see you there, meet you there live, and make some real shifts in real time. I can't tell you what this starts to do for every part of your life. This is just the first big domino that we are going to topple over together that is going to just change the trajectory of what's to come in massive ways for you. I'm Theresa Lear Levine. Thanks so much for listening today. And remember, peace first, power next. I'll see you in the workshop. Have a great day. Thanks for spending some of your precious time with me today. If you loved this episode, please leave a review or simply share it with someone else who would get great benefit from it too. If you share on social media, please tag me so I can personally connect and thank you.
Until next time, keep taking bold and brave steps towards becoming more of who you want to be in this world. You are capable, you are worthy, and you are enough. And if your inner critic is still trying to argue with those facts, hit me up. We've got work to do.